All right, welcome. Today we're going to explore a really simple but surprisingly powerful tool for managing those moments when a strong emotion, like anger, just feels like it's taking over. It's a 30-second technique you can use pretty much anywhere to get unstuck and find a little bit of calm.
So let's start with a feeling I think we all know. Have you ever gotten hooked on an angry thought and your mind just plays it over and over and over again? It's like you can't get off of it.
It really is like your brain is stuck on this same thought treadmill. Psychologists call this rumination, and it can be absolutely exhausting. The tricky part is that it feeds on itself, making it feel almost impossible to think clearly, let alone to actually calm down. But what if you could just hit a reset button on that treadmill? What if you could just stop it for a second? Well, that is exactly what a category sprint is designed to do. It's a fast, simple way to interrupt that emotional cycle. So what is it exactly? It's a really quick mental exercise. You just pick a totally neutral category, something that doesn't have any emotional charge for you, like animals or cities or types of fruit. Then you just rapidly name items from that category for about 30 seconds. And look, the goal here is not perfection. It's just to give your brain a completely different job to do. Now, what's so great about this is just how practical it is. You can do this totally silently in your head during a tense meeting or while you're standing in a long line at the grocery store. It has incredibly low friction, no special posture, no equipment, no long learning curve. It's just ready to go when you need it. Okay, so this isn't just about distracting yourself, not at all. The category sprint is a technique that's really grounded in the science of how our brains regulate emotion. It's actually a very deliberate and targeted intervention. So there is a scientific term for this, of course. It's called attentional deployment. According to the research, it's one of the main strategies we can use to manage our feelings. And it simply means that you are consciously and deliberately choosing where to put your focus. This little table helps us see where this technique fits in. According to psychologist James Gross's model of emotion regulation, there are 5 big families of strategies we use. And as you can see, attentional deployment happens early in the process, before an emotion has totally taken over, which is exactly why it can be so good at stopping things from escalating. So here's the key idea. Our working memory, which is kind of like the brain's mental desktop, it only has so much space. When we're stuck in an anger loop, that loop is hogging all the space. This little naming game creates what some researchers call a cognitive tax. It forces your brain to use its resources on this new neutral task instead. And this brings up a really important distinction. We're often told to name our feelings, right? To say, I am feeling angry. And while that can be helpful, some research suggests that sometimes it can almost crystallize the emotion, making it feel even more solid and intense. The category sprint gets around that by using your brain's naming ability for something totally neutral, which helps create a clean break. Okay, so let's get super practical. Let's walk through the steps so you know exactly what to do in the moment when you need it. It's really just a simple 4-step process. So first, the invitation is just to recognize that you're stuck. To notice, hey, I'm in a loop right now. And honestly, that can be the hardest part. Then you select a simple, neutral category. Then you sprint. You just name items as fast as you can for about 30 seconds. And finally, you pivot. That little pause creates a space to consciously choose what to do next. And here are a few tips to make this even more effective. If your mind just goes blank, which happens, just say skip in your head and keep going. The goal is engagement, not a perfect score. If it feels too hard in the moment, make it easier. Just name objects you can see around you. And if you want more of a challenge, you can add a rule, like only naming things that are blue. Okay, and this is really important. This is a tool, not a test. If you find that the pressure of the sprint is actually making you feel more frustrated or keyed up, just stop. That's totally okay. You can just switch to something simpler, like a grounding technique where you just notice 5 things you can see in the room. So what happens after the 30 seconds are up? This is key because finishing the sprint isn't really the end goal. The real power of this whole practice is in the pause it creates. That moment of mental space, that's everything. In that brief moment of calm, you get your power of choice back. Maybe you notice you need one more 30-second sprint to really break the cycle. Or maybe all you need is to just take 3 calm, normal breaths. Or if you do need to address the situation, you can now think clearly enough to decide on one constructive next step. So at the end of the day, you can think of the category sprint as a functional bridge. It's not designed to solve the problem that made you angry in the first place.
Its job is to get you from a state of emotional reactivity to a place where you can take intentional, effective action.
And that's really what this is all about. It's about giving yourself the space to ask a very simple but very powerful question in any difficult moment. Now that you have a choice, what will you choose to focus on?